I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna hear your promises. You do you and I'll do me. That's just the way it is.
Boom.
Yes, boys. Biddly boat. Yes, yo. Here we go. There ain't nobody down round here. Yes, Mingy. Yes, War Piglet. I'm glad you took Julie to see it. What did you think to it, War Piglet? Get that badger in and on and over here. We had to move back to get his greatness in. Stay loose, Harley. You stay loose, big man. I know we're all mad and we're all angry. I don't know why. You were all right yesterday, but seem to have something's got you a go. I'm not sure if it's the AI generated thumbnails or not, but shit is as shit does. I got a little bit I want to talk about genuinely about the not necessarily formation wise, but I've done a bit of a. I've got some. I don't normally get the images together, do I? With like, I don't really like, you know, flicking through games and getting screenshots of sort of where we are in certain positions and stuff. It's not really my flavour, because I think you can spin that however you want. But I am genuinely wondering whether, you know, because we have goals have dried up, and I'm trying to link us back up with DCL. Really, obviously we've got international break coming up. Hopefully, you know, he does well for England, and then we're getting back. I just want him scoring goals again. If he starts scoring goals again, we are staying up for certain. I'm just slightly worried that we sort of drop in a bit deeper, and we've sort of lost what we were good at sort of 10 games ago. And that's not necessarily saying that I think we've been poor in the past few games, because I don't really. We're still competitive and stuff, like I've said. You know, we've been banging on all season about how competitive we've been and stuff, but there's a missing link up top, isn't there? And I'm just wondering whether we're dropping a bit deeper. And like Aaronson, I've noticed, I feel like we've become like a bit of a caricature of what we thought we was. So like potentially, I don't know whether I'm just going a bit over the top with it, due to the fact that we've not scored for a few games, but it is a slight concern, you know, you do have to say. But we're not conceding, which is good. But Aaronson sort of like has gone from running from deep or being out wide to get in and around DCL to sort of like being just constantly deep. And I've got some stills that I'm going to show in a minute. But just positions where like Bogle finds himself in, where he's really high and wide and he's got loads of room, and it allows Aaronson and even Longstaff in one of the freeze frames to get forward into pockets, and then OKAFOR in one of them, and they're around DCL a lot more. You don't have to be right next to him. I feel like we're getting too close to him. I feel like, you know, I'm reluctant to say that the team has bought into the fan base believing that Aaronson is playing in behind DCL, but he's not. That's not his job. He's meant to get in and around him, but because they're all sort of isolated, I feel like we've stopped pumping balls into the box, for instance. DCL's worth saying he's still the 8th top goal scorer in the league, and I'm surprised how much we have actually missed OKAFOR. Genuinely, like, hopefully he's back now to end of season. He's been called up to international duty as well, which, you know, coming back from injury, that's not quite on the same level as DCL, is it really? You're not sure you want that to happen. But we have missed OKAFOR because he does get wide and he wants to beat a player. So there's a few screenshots we've got of the Liverpool game as well, when we made the big substitutions where Nonto and Aaronson come on, and they're just brilliant, but they're sort of playing together in little pockets. It's quite interesting, or it is to me anyway. Also worth noting how much we missed Goodmanson against Brentford other day. And I didn't realise, but he has the most progressive carries in the entire league. He's at his joint with Elliot Anderson. He's had 138 progressive carries in the league, which is absolutely remarkable. But it's not surprising, really, when we've all seen him sort of like, he's always constantly charging forward, isn't he? And I'm wondering whether, you know, is it time to go back to the 4-3-3? Because I know nobody liked it. I know everybody moaned about it, and all knobsacks coming forward saying, "Oh, the only formation for us is 5-3-2, and the only formation for us is one up top." With, you know, it's all like, you know, 3 at the back, 5 at the back, whatever you want to call it. Any narration from that. James Justin's obviously come in, which has given us a bit more of an outlet. So when we went 3 at the back, the reason why it didn't feel so much like a rugged 5 at the back is because if we've got James Justin in there, and even Rodon, who has said in his interview, in his podcast, that with Leeds, with Emma Jones, with Titties and that lot, Bridges and that lot, and Dallas. I should just name all three of them. There's three of them. He mentions that he's basically playing right back and he's got like license to get forward and stuff, and that allows Bogle to get in these these more further pockets, rather than being deep. He's sort of more progressed up the pitch. I'm just wondering whether it's time to really start giving Nonto a few more minutes. And that's because I thought when Dan James came on, even though it can still be quite frustrating, but obviously coming back from injury, I mean, my brother didn't think he had the best game, but I'm not sure whether I've just overread what he said really. But I thought he literally changed it up. I thought we added so much more of a threat, and it allowed us to get deeper into their final third, which is what I believe we've been lacking for the past few games. We're not delivering the ball into DCL. We're delivering it to him, but we're aimlessly pumping it forward to him rather than, being sort of 30 yards, 40, 50, even 50 yards out and dinking it into him when he's in and around the penalty spot, so that he can win flick downs and he can try and, or not win the ball, but there's a runner in behind him or there's a runner near him and it causes a bit of chaos. I feel like what we're doing now is we're on the edge of our box and we're pinging it forward to him and just asking him to sort of hold it up. And he's never in a million months of sun he's going to be able to hold it up around the halfway line. Because even if he does get his sort of half flick on, or he does distract the defender and they lose the ball and it doesn't land to anybody other than when we've got OKAFOR who is so attacking minded. Because Aaronson definitely does a lot more defensive work than OKAFOR. And that's not to suggest that OKAFOR's not been putting it in going backwards, because he has of late. Before his injury, ironically, he really did start to sort of throw his weight about a little bit, which is what he's needed to do, to be fair. So it has been far better. I'm looking forward to getting him back. I thought we'd be all right without him, and I don't think it's not an OKAFOR thing. That there's other things. I'm reluctant to even say other things gone wrong, but there's definitely certain scenarios that we can find ourselves in a little bit easier, I think. As I say, it didn't help with James Justin being left back the other day, because you want somebody getting to byline, and Goodmanson always does that, but we're losing that from the right hand side. The Sunderland goal that DCL gets his tap in, obviously it's not a tap in, it's a nice finish. Obviously all 11 players touch the ball, but it's Aaronson really out high and wide and then Stack delivering ball to him, and then I think it's OKAFOR charging in. I've got some stills which I'll show. I'll just flick through a few comments, but just genuinely interested to know your thoughts, whether it's time to go back 4-3-3 from the start of games. I'm not even really calling for that. I just want us to try and get back to sort of, I don't know, to the last 10-15 minutes was much more kind of what I'm saying about what DCL's after. Against Brentford, we were high. Do you remember when Ampadu, like previously in times gone by, in 8-10 games ago, really high up, he was delivering balls in, and I was like, why is Ampadu delivering the balls in, thinking that was the problem, when you've got like Dan James on pitch or whoever, thinking that surely it should be them delivering the ball. But it's because we were so high and wide and we had so many players in so many pockets, and then obviously when you've got Gruev and stuff on the pitch, they'll sit for you and add that sort of extra, so it's hard to get hit on the counter attack, which obviously you do become vulnerable of. And the idea that Farke's not going for games, I don't buy either. So, because he threw everybody on again at weekend, so he's trying to win games. It's just having that, I don't know, that little bit of nous and not panicking too much, and just decent deliveries into the box and stuff, and causing a bit more mayhem. I think we need to get back to, which we did do for the last 10-15 minutes against Brentford. Yes, Joe Depp, what's good, my man? Appreciate you, dude. Gate up, Joe Peru can sniff a goal. Was loving it, mate. Loving it. Was better than I thought it would be, to be fair. Yes, War Piglet, I'm happy. Roger Slicker's the man. Impetus and the press. And you know it, Joe Depp. Get them likes up. Yes, War Piglet, we've got 32 in room, only got 16 likes. That is a 50% average, and we're not happy with that. And we know we're on that rotisserie that we always talk about, so... Is it me or is Bogle trying to be cool on the ball? Sometimes I scream, wake up, lad. And I think Bogle's really good on ball, to be fair. He's so calm, almost too calm. No, he's good on ball, isn't he? Need to be more offensive. That's surely not a debate. Says Mingy. Enar in the wing, Jesse Enar. Sounds like Jack doing serious. This sounds like Jack. Well, it's relatively serious, isn't it? I just wanted to, there's just a few things been on my mind about it, really. From literally the past couple of weeks, I've just thought, I don't think it's a DCL thing. You know, all pundits online saying, "Oh, DCL, you know, not in the form that he was and stuff." And I think, well, you know, I know he missed his pen and you pick up a goal there, but he should have been picking up a goal there. But I don't know. I'm struggling to find. I was flicking through how many shots like Aaronson's had on goal and how many shots DCL's had on goal, and it's like 1 to 2 a game, which it probably is in general anyway. But the last few games, you know, we're not really. I can't think of many like. I can't think of a delivered ball that DCL's got a good chance of winning an header and scoring from an header. You know, he's been mint in the air for us, like, you know, the long looping ball up from Bogle, which again I've got some stills for. Yes, Mingy. Yes, my man. Smash a like for us, guys. We're on 20 likes now. We're pushing for 100 in every single vid. Emma Jones is decent. Yes, indeed. She's fitter in real life, Harley. Genuinely. This is when Dr. Farker earns the big bucks, says War Piglet. Yes, indeed. He switched it up again like with Metcha. But again, it's sort of like a similar thing where like Metcha wants to get in and around DCL. But we're lacking that like natural width where, I don't know, like OKAFOR wants to run off and have his own game over there. He can't help himself. So even though he's ordered to be in and around DCL, he does also want to get at his right back. And when Goodmanson goes, he's finding these little pockets and stuff. And Metcha's not that guy. I was hopeful that Metcha, and that's not a sly on Metcha, he's up top and he's a centre forward. You know, a 10 or a 9 in traditional sense, Bergkamp 10. I'm a dinosaur, remember, you know, nobody knows what a 10 is anymore. But yeah, he's sort of picking up in them pockets, and Stack is able to pick up them pockets when we've got Bogle and Goodmanson going high and wide. If you're going to have 3 at the back, we might as well get them high and wide. And then you've got OKAFOR, Stack, if it's Aaronson, anybody, you know, if Tanaka's playing, if Longstaff's playing, if maybe not so much Ampadu and Gruev, they don't get in them progressed places. And then DCL as the centrepiece, but you've got like 4 players coming up with him, you know, and then Bogle able to whip balls in, Goodmanson able to whip balls in, OKAFOR finding pockets. And I feel like we've lost that a little bit. When James came on against Brentford, I feel like we got it back. I felt like there was that bit we could move the ball about a bit in the right areas rather than sort of like moving it, you know, or looking to pump it. I don't mind pumping it long at all. You know, there's a time and a place for it. You know who Emma Jones is, Joe Depp, as long as I've got her name right. You're not kidding me, mate. You can't kid a kidder. Willie and AO got to have more mins. I'm not 100% on Tanaka Ming in terms of needing more minutes, but I would go in Onto, to be fair. But now Okafor's back. I just want someone that'll have a go at defenders, really. Don't think that arms our defence much. No, Tanaka's good on ball, obviously, as well, innit? And he can pick a pass, can't he? I mean, to be fair, I'm not too sure how many assists he gets and stuff in grand scheme of things, really. But his general play, like, he's more forward thinking, isn't he? Gruev keeps the midfield area with Amps, perhaps. Well, this is it, War Piglet, you see. So this is when Gruev and Ampadu get a bit of shit, or Gruev particularly gets shit. Really, they're holding the fort, aren't they? And allowing everybody else to fly forward. And Gruev does give an extra centre-back that opportunity to go. If it's James Justin or if it's Rodon, he can then push on. It means Bogle, Goodmanson can go. It means Ampadu can find himself in them wide right areas, which, he, as I say, I don't particularly want him in there. I don't mean wide right. I'm talking like, you know, in the pocket on the edge of the box, 5 yards back from the edge of the box, you know, to the right-hand side. You know what I'm saying? If we stay up, Farker will keep 90% of this team for next season, and that's a scary thought when we need to get rid of all our baggage, and that's my controversial comment of the day. Yes, I mean, I don't know. 90% of the squad. I mean, how much would you get rid of? I don't think you'll keep 90%, to be fair. I think there'll be a fair few go, but it depends what you define as 90%, I suppose. 90% of the starters, you know, I think we might lose a big name in summer. You know, it's unfortunate, but I think it's possible. Aaronson not worth his place after recent performances, says Ming. I'd still stick with him to start games, Ming. It's just in terms of, you know, I just mean getting back to what we was. I think there's an opportunity. It'd be Metcha comes out for me, and we get more of a wide player, you know, back on the pitch that wants to actually beat a player. And it's not against Metcha, because I really like Metcha. I was hopeful. I said months ago, I'm happy to say I was wrong. I thought Metcha would be able to do the job out wide, like, because we're not asking for full width, but we are asking for somebody to get at your right back or your left back, and Aaronson will do that. But we need to I need to show you these stills, but we need to give him these opportunities to either break into the box centrally while other people... If he's found himself on his goals and on his decent chances, he's been either darting into the box quite late, like from deep, but we sort of like, we're all progressed, and he does find the pockets well, doesn't he? But we're losing him over on the right. When he set DCL up against Sunderland, it was right over on the right, really high and wide, because the play it suggested that. Do you know what I mean? Aaronson has had more than a fair crack of the whip. He has ability, but his lack of composure is a liability. I'm not sure that's a fair thing on him, to be fair, Joe Peruk and sniff a goal, because I think I think his composure's been the best it's been this season. I agree it's not the best thing. It's not his best side of his game. This isn't an Aaronson berating thing. I'm actually trying to get him back to what... Well, I'm not trying to get him back to... I can't help him do anything. But I just mean DCL and Aaronson. Aaronson's due a performance and DCL's due a goal. And the two things come hand in hand. And if we have players like OKAFOR on the pitch, I think it helps Aaronson. I think it helps DCL. So I genuinely think that's what we're lacking. And the bad news, OKAFOR just called into the Swiss squad. I hate when they take players who are not fully fit returning from injury. I agree, 78 RPM. If he'd have played 3 or 4 games, I'd have been up for it just to keep him ticking over. I don't think it's a bad thing, players going on international break. But when he obviously wants to be playing for his country, and that's fine. But I've been waiting for him to get back, and then it's like he's back now. He's played whatever it was, 20 minutes, and then he's away on international duty. It's just like, and they don't look after him, do they? Gone at days where they'll just say, look, we're only playing for 45 minutes, only playing for 60 minutes or whatever. So God knows, but I mean, he'll be happy to be back in the squad because he's not been in it every time, has he, every international break. I got to say, I'm Fark in, but he does a lot that annoys me. Yes, Joe Depp, we're in that kind of spot, in that position in the league as well, aren't we? And in the position of our progression as a club, really, where the manager is going to piss you off a little bit, though. That's the thing. It's not, I don't think he's overly negative. I don't think it's, I just think he's pretty realistic about where we're at. I do think he's the only one trying to win these football games, because I think so many teams, I'm so surprised how many teams are turning up and not interested in winning. And then the Brentford fans, I don't know what their channels are like, but they're going home. They seem relatively happy about everything. Granted, the 7th in league, so you would say that. But really, I remember when we were 6th, 6th, 7th in league a couple of decades ago, and I don't remember going to like somebody 15th in league and not expecting to win the game. I don't know what that's the only side of football that's sort of done my head in, to be fair. Jack, we need to continuously switch up our formations depending on who we play, including switching formations at half time. But Farker won't do that, and it's costing us. I really think that's unfair as well, AO. To be fair, I think Farker switches it up all the time. Honestly, I actually believe Farker when he talks about his base formation a lot. I don't think it's a fair assessment of him. I respect your opinion, man, and I understand the frustration. But I do think there's more than meets the eye with what Farker is getting up to, really. I don't think it's as clean cut as, his starting formation is how it stays. We have a different formation on the ball and when we're not on the ball. We have a different formation when we're retaining possession high up in the field. We have a different formation when they're retaining possession low or high. The amount of times that Brentford had to, we got sort of booed, but ultimately Brentford ended up moving it all the way back and pumping it forward, and it went all the way through to Darlow. So we're structurally really sound. That's one thing you've got to give Farker. I know we all say that he errs on the side of caution over aggressive attack, but I'm not sure, what were Brentford doing at weekend? They were more cautious than I think we've ever been. We've never been that cautious against Liverpool away, which is one of them games at Anfield, where you just try and take your chances. Again, we come away with a point from that. Them points I'll take. Do you know what I mean? That's not the problem. But if I'm 7th in league in the next couple of years and we're going to 15th in league away, who granted, it's Ellen Road's a hard place to go and all that stuff, I'd be relatively happy with a point, but I'd be wanting us to push for Europe. I think, why are we not... What have we got to lose here? Like a position in the league? Like, surely that's where you strive. We've got a lot to lose in these games, and I feel like we're the ones trying to win the game in danger of losing the game. So do you know what I mean? I don't think it's a fair assessment of how Farker's sort of setting up, really. Yes, Lukey boy, what's good? 0-0, mate, my man. The one thing that's been on my mind all season is we can't pull away from the relegation zone. This is true, AO. This is absolutely true. That's why a couple of wins does get us out of the muck, doesn't it? But because we're only a couple of wins of getting away from it. Can't play for draws, says Clem Fandango. I don't think he does though, but can't play for draws in our last few home games. That is for certain. You know, we do need to get a couple of wins. And the home games, you know, there's no way about it. Wolves and Burnley just has to be 6 points at this point. DCL cannot score with no service. End of, says Ming. This is what I mean. So we need to try and get him a bit better service, I think. The Shags was that horrendous sisters girl group from America that needs checking out. Now has a cult following. The Shags, get up, the Shaggers. Andrew Thompson, Brentford watched the Sunderland game. And Kemen did a number on us. This is a good point. We've become a bit too predictable again. Need to switch it up sometimes with width. Now, this is where I'm at, Andrew Thompson. I agree. So this is the slight switch. And I feel like it's something that in-game has been forgotten. And when you bring on somebody like Dan James, there is no other way. That is all Dan James wants to do. So that's his rest of his game's been forgotten. Do you know what I mean? All he cares about is sort of getting ball and running with the ball. That's his game. If you bring in Dan James on, that's what Farker can obviously see it. He's obviously calling for it. But it's getting Aaronson back to doing it. It's getting OKAFOR back fit to do it. It's getting Nonto on the pitch maybe to do it on that left. It's not Mecha for me. We've tried it twice now, and I know Crystal Palace game sort of got away from us without it being our fault, you know, because of the ref. But yeah, that's where I'm at, Andrew Thompson. I want to get these screenshots up, but I don't like missing your comments, do I, boys? Leeds man, like it or lump it. Losing is not an option. Don't lose first. Worry about winning next. Man U would be a great draw. People won't like that, but it's facts. If we can get a draw at Man United, Leeds man, you have to take that, don't you? And then, you know, we go into a couple of real big games then, don't we? I think it's Wolves after that. And then, you know, 4 points from next 2 games. I think the league looks completely different. Tottenham, obviously, hopefully continue to lose. West Ham continue to lose. Forest can do what they want now. You know, we've got to decide who we want to go down. Well, we don't have to decide. You know, whoever goes down, goes down. Who cares? But you know what I mean? Like, you know, results... I didn't want Forest to win the other day. I'd rather Spurs win. But having seen the game, I'd rather Forest win because Spurs don't look like they're coming back from no, never. So, dang, never coming back. 100% Ming is madness. DCL is being played on his own up front. And for any team to only play with one striker equals bad management. I don't think that's the case, AO. Come on, big man. Stay loose. It's not bad management to put DCL up top on his own. Every team in the league plays one up top, man. Surely you don't mean that, AO. Everyone is on board with the scum draw, mate. I should hope so. Can James and Nonto play their way into form? I don't think it's really a form thing at this point, though, Roger Slicker. I think when you're in the crunch time at season, I don't think it's form. I think it's ambition and, you know, just turning up in a game, just thinking, right, all I need is one moment. I don't think it comes down to form at this point. I think Nonto coming off at bench and just doing one thing, getting a penalty against Liverpool, which again I've got the stills for. It's just interesting to see how where Aaronson and Nonto are operating. Scum have started to find form, so pick up anything on the road is a bonus. Yes, indeed, Lukey, agree. I'm not predicting draws at all. I honestly think we'll go to Old Trafford and beat Man United. That's more like it, AO. Get up, smash a like for AO smashing up Man United. Combo of Bogle and James looked threatening at one stage. Farker has apparently forgotten that combo. Well, he brought him on, and James has obviously been injured for huge portions of the season, Roger Slick. But Bogle's massively more effective when he's with James, or when Aaronson's a little bit more high and wide and he gives him a little bit more of an option. Bogle wants to carry the ball from deep, doesn't he? So when he's carrying the ball, he wants to cut in and go. He wants to be quite direct. And he's got a bit about him on. He's got a bit about him on edge of box as well. He's got a lovely bit of a touch, and he can find himself in box. It's another thing. Again, I've got the stills for. I don't want to keep saying it without showing you. It's like I'm prejuicing everywhere, but we're not in them pockets anymore between the 6-yard box and the 18-yard line. I can't remember us being in them pockets very much. When James came on the other day, I was like, oh shit, we're back in these areas where it's like, it's only a cutback or a flashed across goal. And that, you know, DCL's got his tapping again. His 6-yard tapping, his central tapping. It's like I feel like we've lost that. And Dan James brings that because he stretches the team so much. Let Stack go. We don't need social media stars and YouTubers playing for us. Bin off any YouTube footballers. Well, we don't want to get rid of Stack, do we? I must say the social media stuff gets on my tits a bit with Stack, but I can take that on chin while ever he's playing well. But, you know, the fear is when he's not playing well, I think it'll come back to bite him in the arse pretty hardcore. So I don't know if he's prepared for that, but, you know, the fan base can go pretty quick, can't it? But I like Stack, so I certainly... It can be on social media as much as he wants. In truth, I'm not saying, I'm not trying to police his social media skills, because I have enough, you know, there's enough Blackburns in the world trying to police my social media skills. So you don't need me to tell him. But yeah, it's just it's not how I would operate, I don't think, as a professional footballer. But who am I to tell a professional footballer how to operate? All I'm saying is, as long as performances continue, he can do what he wants, and he can do what he wants anyway. Of course we do, Mingy. All the whiners, the moaners, the doubters can go fuck themselves. Get up, Mr. Whitesnake. If you haven't seen it yet, Mr. Whitesnake's brought out a video. Go check Mr. Whitesnake's new video out. Features the Goblin. It's funny. Say what you mean, Mr. Snake. He always does, me old mucker, doesn't he, Joe? The club gave Farker a set of tools to work with. He asked for more and didn't get them. Farker can only work with what he has. I just think we can only expect what we are getting right now. Yes, Leeds man. Where's that finish? Give me 17th at the start of the season. Energy gone. Agreed, Leeds man. Luke, pray we don't lose. Up for a win. Settle for a draw. Pretty much, Luke, yeah. Anything at Man United would be mint, wouldn't it? To go unbeaten against Man United, we'd have done it basically against all top sides, won't we, at this point? When Stack gets the ball, surprise commentators don't say the YouTuber Stack scored. That'd be a weird thing for him to say, wouldn't it really, Harley? But we are a team of journeymen with hardly any big-name stars. We've got to buy better quality. I think that's a crazy line, Roger Slick. I think you're on wind-up, me old mucker. I just got a Leedsy feeling. The lads will be well up for smashing Man United at home. They'll be well up for that game. And it's the type of game that we maybe need. You know, a big blockbuster, really, like just to go flying into. We've been so good against, like, Chelsea away. Liverpool, we were good away against. I know we got beat to Man City, but we were good away to them. So, you know, we do have it in locker, don't we? Arsenal, not so much. Gates up, Mr. Warlord. The New Zealand Warlord in the house. I'd hate to see you hanging, Mr. Hulk. Does anyone know why Pep keeps scratching his head? He keeps digging his nails in, making his head bleed. I think he's having a panic attack half at time. Yes, Mr. Whitesnake. Have you all checked, liked, and dropped a comment on Jack's assessment on Mr. Whitesnake's YouTube channel? You need to go check it out. Top class work from my man, Mr. Whitesnake. When we criticise individual players, you have to consider who they are up against. This is the Prem. They are not doing bad. We just have to have faith it's good enough. We know that we don't, with the quality we have a relatively decent amount of quality. But what I would say about the quality is we're not going to have 10 out of 10s, 8 out of 10s every single week, are we? They're going to have lulls. When you're not getting the best players in the world, I'm not trying to suggest our squad's ridiculously strong, but what I am suggesting is they're turning up every week and they're putting in 100%, which is all you can ask. And if you get, like I've said from the start of the season, if you get 4 or 5 top performances out of Aaronson and he wins you 4 or 5 games, that'll do. Or three games if he's like the penultimate. I mean, Aaronson's been unlucky because Perry snatched defeat from jaws of victory against Man United, and that had been Aaronson's day. Aaronson had a good day against Newcastle away, and it all went tits up. But, we ended up losing that game in the last minute. So that's 2 games that I'll give a pass for Aaronson, that he's actually done what he's been here to do. At top level. Same with DCL. He's got plenty of goals, 8th top goal scorer in the league. Goals win your games, as you boys well know. So he has done that. So it's an unfair. It's an unfair assessment to want them to do this in every single game. They're not going to be able to do that. OKAFOR's had a couple of moments. Goal against Wolves did us really well. The challenge against Chelsea goalkeeper when then DCL taps it in and stuff. So he's had his big moments. Stack's had his big moments. His free kick goals. They're big moments, you know. Stack's pulled it out of the bag a couple of times for us. Ampadu's been solid all season. Biol's had a couple of big moments for headers. You just want big moments out of the big players 3 or 4 times a season, and hopefully they don't all land in the same game, you know, where you know, that sounds daft, but you don't really want to trounce someone 4-1 and then draw 0-0. You know, 2-0's all the way, really. You know, sometimes on Champ Manager you get a bit ahead of yourself, don't you, on FIFA when you're 5-0 up. Then you go into the next game and it's 0-0 and you can't score. I do think he's overly negative. I'm not so sure, Joe Depp. I'm not so sure. It's an honour to call you mate. Mate. Yes, mate. I've said it before and I'll say it again. They will get rid of Farker at the end of the season. It's written in the soiled clouds, mate. Them soily clouds, mate. Snaky too cool to get angry. Farker says a lot that is open to conjecture. I'll have to, once I've caught up, I'll have to check that word out. Jack, you got the Jim White bozo gene. For once, pick a Farker weakness that we can all agree on. I think you'd follow Farker off a cliff. What are you on about, Andy? Farker weakness. I think he likes the ladies too much. I like Brendan. His cardio is insane and it's great applying pressure, but in this league he falls short. He falls short long term, Joel Peru can sniff a goal. But, you know, for the performances he has put in this season, he does warrant his place in the side. I can't wait for Wolves and Burnley. We need to put them to the sword, don't we, Joe Depp? Alternator has decided to fuck up on the way home and now I'm brought down. Are you joking, Brett? I feel your pain, my man. Truly. Believe me, more than you'd ever imagine, I feel you. Pep got problem with itchy head. I know he's got a scalp issue, hasn't he? Gomez gang, what's good, my man? Teams seem to be getting their goalies to go down, feign injury so they can stop momentum of game and have a drink and a team talk. The reserve keeper was laughing, pretending to get ready. It's a joke. I agree, Gomez gang. It's the league, the Premier League, the FA, whatever it is, desperately have to do something about it. All the fringe players will go along with our world beaters out on loan. No noise about Darlow on a new contract, so he might go. Then bids might come in for Stack, Beal, Struick and Gabby. I think we'll be all right with Struick, 78 RPM. I think we'll be able to retain him. I think something might happen with Goodmanson, to be fair. Stack, very similar. Beal depends on how many minutes we can promise him, really. Because I think Beal's sort of set up to be a Leeds player, really. I think he's a big, strong dude, isn't he? You know, a big, strong gadget. But the thing is, we're not even at that big club level where, I don't mean us, I mean like the teams that come in for these players. If they're big time players, they don't have to be big time. They don't have to be big time teams, you know. They don't have to be a Barcelona or a Real Madrid coming in for these players, or a Juve or a Bayern or whatever. You know, we're in that like horrible spot where like players could be dragged away from us from, you know, nothing clubs really, that I'd class nothing clubs from, even from Germany and Italy and Spain. You know, maybe not so much Spain, because there's less clubs really that you'd sort of go for, but you know, your Napolis and you know that, you know, it's Champions League football, isn't it? It's amazing for like Beal would be all over it, you know, as they all would, and rightly so. You know, that they've got no allegiance to us ultimately, do they? It's a stepping stone for them. They've come to prove themselves. So the front line is disjointed, says Ming. This is what I mean. Let me get. I've still yet to catch up. I'm trying to catch up, but I do want to get these screenshots in. Let me do a couple of these here. Put it on my desktop, and I can't find my fucking desktop. There we go. Width. Right. Right, so this is an obvious one. We'll start with this one because it's easy. So this is, look how high up. So I believe that's Aaronson. So Bogle's on the ball. Aaronson's high and right, but he's not crazy wide, but it allows Bogle, it causes a bit of confusion. Ampadu running forward there. I think that's Goodmanson high and wide left. And then Calvert-Lewin's the one that ultimately heads this in. This is Wolves away when we equalised. This is months ago now, you know, at the start of the season. But it's a long looping ball in from Bogle. But look, Calvert-Lewin is already on the edge of the box. Longstaff's occupying 2 players there. Centre-backs don't really know what to do. Aaronson's high and ready. It could go into him. It could go into Ampadu here. So people don't... We're causing a bit of confusion. Players don't know what to do. And I feel like we got this back a little bit against Brentford when Bogle was able to get forward and Dan James was on. Tanaka was getting on the ball. Okafor was high and wide left. So that's just an example of us being more progressed up the pitch for Bogle to actually deliver a ball, you know. This, I want to just check I'm in right order. So this is the stat goal against Liverpool. Now this is when we went to 4-3-3 that everybody's fallen out of love with. So Aaronson here, look at Goodmanson high and wide. I'm not too sure who that is, to be fair, centrally. But Aaronson, Nonto, oh, it must be Stack. So look at Stack, look how high Stack is. That's what I'm saying about getting Stack in and around DCL. I feel like we've lost this. Goodmanson high and wide, like, could go to him. The right back here believes it's going to go to Goodmanson. Nonto's just actually he's done a 1-2 with Aaronson here. Aaronson obviously gives the ball into Stack, and Stack ends up scoring a goal. So I'll just give you the... So this is just before that moment where Aaronson picks the ball up. So Aaronson here, look. Tanaka in and around DCL. So that's Stack, Tanaka and DCL. Basically, forgive me, kind of like a front three there. They're all available. They're all in and around the box, aren't they? You know, as a front three. It's so malleable that. Aaronson's popping it into Nonto here. Look how much space Goodmanson's got. Look at the carnage being caused. And then, like I say, then the 1-2 happens and it's back Nonto back into Aaronson. Now, this is exactly the same as how we got the penalty. I'm hoping I've got the screenshot of that, to be fair. No, I don't, which is a bit fucking annoying. But, oh, maybe, do I? No, I don't, which is annoying. But the penalty is exactly the same. So, I'll just show you this one as well. I thought I'd got the fucking penalty one because it's Nonto that time, you know, like really in the box, like in and around the box. So Nonto here, Aaronson popping it. Look how wide Goodmanson is here, which is always an option. So if this isn't on, you don't lose the ball. If you can't go into centre of the pitch here, you know, into Stack where we ultimately end up scoring, or into Nonto, or whip it in for DCL, you don't lose the ball because Goodmanson's so high and wide. We're never going to lose the ball in that position. And this is obviously when we're going for the jugular here. We're going for game. So just to recap. So look how many players are forward there, all in pockets. There's plenty of Liverpool players back. I mean, 6. There's 9 players back. You know, it's the full team more or less back. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in picture, and there's probably Bogle out wide right. It won't surprise me. Out a shot there. So you know, you don't need tons of players forward. You don't have to be. It's not that gung ho. They just have to be able to play with each other. And Aaronson and Nonto here are being narrow. Now, Nonto used to do this quite a lot with Somerville other year, to be fair. And I think Nonto thrives more when it is like little 1-2s and he's got options around him. You know, I think he carries the ball well, but I think he's better in these little options. Look, that could go into Nonto. It could go into Stack. Obviously, ends up being a goal. Could go into DCL. But then we can never lose the ball because at worst, Aaronson takes it to byline, gives it to Goodmanson. We're not going to lose the ball in that scenario. And then this is Sunderland. So I'm gonna. There's two. This yes. Right. This is all right. So this is Biol now. This is against Sunderland. When the 1-1 against Sunderland. Now we don't score from this, but again, I don't want to keep banging on. Well, I do want to keep banging on, actually. That's Biol that's actually delivered that ball. So the ball's on its way to DCL there. You got Ampadu furthest forward out at midfield. Tanaka actually sitting, but that's fine. You got Goodmanson breaking forward, high, wide left. Look how high up and wide he is. He's coming in with the ball. Aaronson's on his way into the box here. Look how intelligent of a run that is. He's come from deep here. Must have been round with with Ampadu. He's breaking into the box while Biol's pumping this forward. DCL's then going to win this ball. He's got Stack as an option on edge at box. He's got OKAFOR in behind him. So even if the ball's not perfect, which from Biol it turns out it is, it's perfectly into DCL. DCL now takes a touch. And look at Aaronson breaking into the box. DCL's got OKAFOR. The right back there is shitting his pants, thinking it's going to go to OKAFOR. Because you have to understand as well, not to patronise anybody. Defenders, the reason why it causes carnage is defenders believe that they've got a job on a certain player. So this right back believes Okafor's his problem. So he's not going to go in and get tight to DCL. He doesn't know that the glorious thing about being an attacker is the defender has absolutely no idea what you're doing. And, it's all reactive. So everybody's thinking like, I've got Stack or I've got Okafor or I'm worried about Goodmanson. And, the real danger is Aaronson here. But there's only us lot know. There's only the strikers know what's going on. But look down in the bottom right here. Look how high and wide Bogle is. High and wide Goodmanson. Okafor in the box in a dangerous area. Literally playing off of DCL. But he's a wide winger. Aaronson coming in pretty much parallel to the other side of Okafor. And then this is where Aaronson gets his shot off from the same sequence. So DCL lays it off and Aaronson gets his shot off, cuts in well. Again, look, DCL hanging around 6-yard box. I think that's Stack breaking in. He's on penalty spot now. He'll be able to lash it on from there. Okafor, perhaps a bit too high and wide, but he's obviously been open for a knockdown. Bogle high and wide. Everybody in and around the box. And then finally, this is the goal. So, this is the DCL goal against Sunderland. Look at this. This is exactly so. This is more of a counter, I understand, but that's obviously Stack that's whipped the ball out wide to Aaronson. Look how high and wide he is. Look how close DCL is to Okafor. So he's not straight down the centre because I think there's been too much central. I know we're talking 5 or 6 yards here, but it's important when it comes to the defenders. It gives the defenders something to think about. If DCL is just the focal point and it's just down the centre all the time, literally in the middle of the centre circle, all the way from our 6-yard box to their 6-yard box, that's just where he's operating. 5 or 6 yards to the other side, you don't see Harry Kane central all the time. It's 5 or 6 yards either side. He's not in between. This idea that you have to be in between the two centre-backs is a lot of woof. You have to be in between two defenders. Again, the right-back shitting himself about Okafor. Look how high and wide Okafor is here. Okafor's going to get in. DCL's charging into the box and Aaronson's breaking forward. And you can see the momentum. Other than maybe Ampadu, who's probably ambling a bit there, thinking, no, the rest of the boys are going. Stack's going, Tanaka's going, Bogle's going, Okafor's going, DCL and obviously Aaronson on the ball. And then the goal. This is the pocket that I'm talking about. Yet again, Aaronson on the ball here. When was the last time we saw him? Wide. I love this area where Bogle is now. That's where what I was saying earlier, where we found Ampadu in scenarios where he's whipping a ball in. That's where Bogle now is. That's where Bogle's the first one that I showed you. This one, we're talking 5 or 6 yards from where Bogle is to deliver that ball. So he's finding himself again in these positions. It could go back to Bogle, and Bogle whips it in for DCL. He resets his run. Okafor hanging around on back post. Stack getting into box again. Going to be around penalty spot in a couple of seconds. Tanaka on edge at box who can hit a ball. I feel like we've lost that bit of carnage created. Look how many players forward there. All in these pockets, all breaking lines. I feel like we've lost. I feel like we've got away from that. So what are your thoughts, boys, on that? Sorry to get behind on the comments. But I feel like we've lost. I feel like we've lost that. I feel like we've got away from that. I'm just going to skip forward a bit because I do just want to... yes, Mimi. Shout out to Mimi. Appreciate you. I don't like skipping comments, guys, but I just want to know what you're saying on that. We finish 15th and win the cup with this squad. You know it. The Farkinator is in. Get up 78 RPM. It's been ages since I've had a badger in the bedroom. Get stuck in, Joe Depp. We showed Liverpool too much respect. They've lost as many games as Leeds have drawn. Well, we did well against Liverpool, to be fair, Roger Slicker. Ramazani on loan, scored and assisted this weekend. Oh, God, here we go again. I'm a bit worried Jack has done homework, produced stills, and he's doing some sort of tactical explanation. It can be done, Brett. I don't like doing it because I think you can then get screenshots of other things and, but it's just been something, I have noticed it and, I like wingers. I am a winger, so I do like wingers. And it's not because I am one, but I do like wide play. I like one-on-ones and I like beating players. I'm not on about just personally. I mean, I like watching it done. That's why I'll give wingers the keys to get forward. And if they lose the ball going forward, I'm not going to beat them up about it. I'm not going to berate them about it. Yes, Mr. Whitesnake. Darlow, a free agent, might get a decent payday in a club that wants him as number one. Well, because he knows he'll get pushed down, doesn't he, to be fair? If we win FA Cup, the Farker outers, including myself, will be eating a lot of humble pie. Our kids going to FA Cup final regardless, I think. Great tactical view, Jack. Thank you, Richard Todd. Appreciate you, man. Okafor and Cornetto could potentially be Leeds' mercurial players, but they are lacking something. I don't think Cornetto's got it in him. You know, maybe he's still a young lad. He's number one at our club. He is for now, Joe Depp, yeah. I'm not sure. Okafor for Metcha for me. I agree, Howard Borden. That's where I'm going, honestly. I was pretty hard on Okafor at times. I didn't think he put himself about enough. And then you never miss a good thing till it's gone. Like, the flow is so fluid, it's like drinking a song. It started to put himself about, and I don't think his output's particularly brilliant, but I don't really give a shit. This is what I mean. You just need one or two moments per game, and if they don't, then you go, right, 60 minutes. That's why I'm a 60-minute guy. It's like, you need a moment. You're not giving me a moment. I don't care about everything else you're doing. You're losing ball, whatever. But you're not giving me that moment. Get off. It's non-toes go. Give me a moment. That's all you want from wingers. They have full... They can lose the ball. They're not in dangerous areas. When you lose the ball as a winger, they're not at you. Do you know what I mean? You know, they're a couple of passes away from getting at you. Granted, you don't want to be losing the ball, but... can we have a poll on the best signing of the season? We certainly can. Best signing at season. Stack. Goodmanson. DCL. I'm going to whack Okafor in there. Fuck it. Just because we're talking about him. I can only do 4 at a time, Richard. Well, that does it. Jack should be our next manager. We do. It's not all just booze and cruise, you know. I do actually like football, but I appreciate you, man. It's just we're not a media channel, are we? It's the first time I've gone on a rant for a while. Carragher is taking notes, Jack. This is what I mean, Roger Slicky. You know, they all do it, don't they, with stills and that. I just think you can bend stuff, you know, into you know, and I think, you know, particularly at Sky Sports, how many Leeds games do they watch, for instance, if they're gonna. I mean, nobody's done a breakdown of that to my knowledge, but I'm not trying to suggest even it's a breakdown. I just mean, you know, nobody's done it to my knowledge. I'm not nicking it off anybody, but it's been something that I have noticed over the past few weeks. But I'm a 4-3-3 guy. I like 4-3-3. I always have, and everybody else were coming out saying it needs to be 5. And then when it worked against Man City, then it needed to be that forever. It's like, it doesn't need to be that forever. Against Liverpool, everybody just kept their mouth shut when we got battered 2-0. And then he went 4-3-3, Aaronson and Nonto, all that footage I've just shown you, completely changes the game. Nobody comes out and goes, oh, to be fair, yeah, Farker is right on the 4-3-3. There's a time for 3 at the back, and there's a time for 4 at the back. And he does switch it up. We do have that ability. Compare him to our other loans. What, Cornetto? He's not in the Prem and would get totally owned here. He's a 10 million player, not quality. Watch again, no one will come for him. Oh, is that Rammer? Yeah, I'm not a Rammer guy, me. It's polled, AO. We've pulled it up. Brett's voting Granite Xhaka. Stop it, Brett. I think he's just a young man in a hurry but going nowhere because he doesn't realise you have to work for it. Matteo, another one who comes across as being entitled. It's hard to know, isn't it? I've skipped 10 minutes, Roger Slicker, because I just wanted to get a bit of a breakdown of this. Gabby for me all day long. He's been brilliant, and I'm surprised how much shit Goodmanson gets, you know. I actually think Gabby, Goodmanson and DCL have all been... They're the same people. Goodmanson, Stack and DCL have all been excellent signings. The FA Cup game is massive now. Could really dent West Ham's confidence for the rest of the season, says Gomez Gang. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. That's a fair point, but no one really knows how a career will turn out. He's doing well. That can't be denied. He's not my guy, Ming. He's not my guy. Good analysis, Jack. Testify, my brother. Testify. Yes, Rhino, Rock, appreciate you, my man. Smashes a like if you aren't already, dude. We come in with a great attack, but that final piece goes missing. It's like, yes. No, I agree, man, yeah. As long as he's not retrospectively doing match analysis after watching Voldemort, I can assure you, Joe Depp, I can assure you that is not the case, Joe Depp. You know me better than that, mate. Matteo, stinking place out. He loves it. Spot on, Jack. I'm missing the wide overloads. There's no better than it. I drew it. There's nothing you can't gain from it. You know, you gain corners from it. You gain throw-ins from it. Crowd get the back up. And as daft as it sounds, you're close to the crowd, right? Everything's like right zoomed in. You're right on the... It's a different game out wide, isn't it? Apparently Guardiola just never shuts up about the one-on-ones and getting as many one-on-ones out wide as you can. It's the best place to hurt teams. Bielsa was amazing at it, wasn't he? Obviously with the underlaps and the overlaps. Bielsa was the king of it. I do think it's the best way to hurt teams. It just never fails. You can't... Because if you put too many people out wide to try and stop it, then the spine of the team just gets destroyed, doesn't it? So... yeah. DCL is the signing of the season purely on an investment basis, as we'd make a nice profit selling him to a big club. Yeah, he's that much is true. I think OKAFOR will be quality next season. I mean real quality. So what I mean 78 RPM. I'm quite harsh on him, and he's coming to a bit of form, and now I'm gutted he's injured, so you never miss a good thing till it's gone. The flow is so fluid, it's like drinking a song. But, you know, with a full year under his belt and knowing what Farke's up to, and Farke's really put loads of, what's the word? I feel like he's released the shackles on him a little bit and put a bit of confidence behind him and said, like, he's going to be his guy. I do think OKAFOR, even when he's been benched, he was coming out in interviews and saying that Farke's, like, really good, like, they speak a lot and they're in a good place together. So, Leeds 14 shot, Brentford 6. Yes, indeed, Howard. The only one team trying to win that game, mate. Jack's gone all pro, screenshots and spitting facts. Appreciate you, Luke. Thank you, man. It needs to be done once a year, I reckon. Metcha meant to be fast, but my internet must be lacking. Metcha's got a bit of pace about him, Roger. Think we'd make handsome profits on Goodmanson, be all stack as well. We'll definitely make profits on them, but I don't think we want it just as of yet, though, Joe Depp. I think we could do with hanging on to them for another year for certain. We don't want to be having to look for another stack, do we, or Goodmanson? Or Biol, any of them. Leeds, man, did anybody seriously expect us to be higher in the league at this stage, or expect that we wouldn't be in a fight? We are where I thought we would be, and I expect to fight. We have to be realistic. Exactly right, Leeds, man. Perfectly put, sir. You haven't put Xhaka in the poll. No, I have not, Brett. I would not do that, mate. It's not how we work. It's not how it works round here, my brother. Jack, how can you say you're having a rant when AMG hasn't shown up to give his opinion? Well, this was an actual, sober rant, wasn't it? So it wasn't, a no forward. Leeds United get a left back, Gabby Goodmanson. Yes, I thought we were a top 10 team, says Luke. Aim for 10th, finish 15th. We're currently on for it. I thought we would have spent more time in the bottom 3 than we have, so hanging around 15th is cool. That's where I'm at, 78 RPM. Strikes again. I thought we'd be in a position, I thought we'd have spent loads of time in bottom 3, to be honest. Thought it'd been 5-6 weeks minimum, where we're shitting his pants around 18th, up to 17th, back to 18th, all in the same weekends, where like West Ham are doing now. But we're not, so. You don't rate him, Ming? I think he'd be good. I think we need him. OKAFOR is our only player with both speed and strength to run past the player. Yes, Howard. And he's got that big dick ability as well. He's got that, he's got a bit of arrogance about him, I think, which I do think top players need, and like wingers particularly and centre forwards need big dick energy, where they think, no, like I'm like super confident, and they just continue to try and beat players. They don't get downhearted or they don't get emotional about it. They just think, no, I'll beat him. And then they don't beat him, and then they're like, well, give me ball because I'll beat him. Do you know what I mean? I think they believe that. Think I saw a stat that he's the fastest runner with the ball in the Premier League. Is that right, Howard Burden? I mean, he makes a lot. He travels a lot with ball. I think he could even. I think there'll be. I think, you know, again with his big dick energy, if he can get it to being like a killer, because I do think he's got that in him. I'm really over egging him now, but you know, he's come with a big expectation at fan base as well, and a lot of people were sort of underwhelmed by him, which I thought were quite harsh on him. Really, you know, it's not his fault, is it? It's just because we didn't get that extra sprinkling of sauce, did we? The FA Cup game is massive. Whoever we're playing, it's a quarter final. I haven't seen a quarter final for ages, RPM. So when has anyone said, "Wow, he's rapid"? Never. What, to Metcher or to OKAFOR? I don't think Okafor's rapid, but he definitely carries ball well. When you play two up front like Metcher and DCL, they have to combine. When was the last time they played off each other? They should give central halves nightmares, Jack. Yeah, well, they're both similar centre forwards, aren't they, Richard? And we're not in any areas to really threaten. But when Metcher's there, this is exactly what we're saying, isn't it? You know, you can't get high and wide. You can't get them both in the game. Really, you want players coming from deeper when DCL's the focal point, or Metcher to get out wide and try and beat a player. Because I do think Metcher's got plenty of quality. I think he's good on ball. And he's a strong lad himself, and he does have a bit of pace and stuff. I don't know whether Ming thinks he's not fast, but Metcher's definitely got a bit of pace, and he gets about his mobile. And he's a bit, you know, I think he's a good pro in that. It's just I don't think it works because he's not playing as a 2. We don't play him as a 2, so yeah. For those that are a little slow, who's Voldemort? It's a character on Harry Potter, Cletus. Ming, just Google Okafor fastest dribbler and see what comes up. Is Okafor the fastest dribbler in the Premier League? Based on statistics from the 25-26 Premier League season, Noah Okafor is recognised as one of the most effective and fastest dribblers, frequently ranking high for take-ons. Electric speed. Okafor, a summer signing for Leeds United, is noted for his electric pace and acceleration and super technique and ball control at top speed. Speed metrics. Okafor is featured in lists of the fastest players in the league, with one report highlighting his high potential dribbling skills. While Okafor is among the best dribblers, Doku has consistently led or closely contested the top spot for top total dribbles and speed in recent seasons. He's definitely up there, Howard Bowden. You're not making it up. Ain't nobody do it how you does it, mate. Stay loose, Mingy. Come on, Mingy. Think he will when fully fit. We need him to end the season now. Can confirm it's not just Joe. Expectation and realism is not the same thing. I also thought we would be in the bottom 3. Probably where West Ham is, to be fair. Everyone seems to think West Ham is on a good run. It's strange. I know, Leeds, man. You can't... There's no rhyme nor reason half at time. Someone wipe his... What, my mouth? I hope so, but not seen it yet. Not down on him. Not having it. Paul needed Jack. Who the fuck is Voldemort? We're not polling that. Can confirm, though, that Stack is on 38% of the vote. Goodmanson 33% and DCL 29%. And the Speedy Okafor has got 0%, but he's in a tough league there. Tough players to go up against, really. Stay wipey. The medical and fitness staff are still working with all injury-prone players to bring them up to scratch. I'm just a bit frustrated that Okafor's gone on international duty, but he'll obviously be wanting to, you know, get in. I would imagine they've qualified, haven't they? I wish we had bought Derby County striker in January, as he'd have given great support for DCL Metcher and we would have won more games 100%. You can't 100% that, Ayo. Don't get on this, you know, we just need players hype. We need to make the most of what we've got. Don't worry about it, Cletus. This 4-3-3, Jack, how are the 3 up front lining up? What do you mean, Roger Slicker? I mean what we're doing now. If we've got Okafor and I'm happy with Aaronson, that's 4-3-3, isn't it? He's playing 4 at back, isn't it, though? Get 3 centre midfielders. And you know it. You know it, Luke. I had DCL out for longer spells. We got lucky with him. I did think it'd be more of an issue, to be fair, but you do just buy into bullshit that everybody comes out with, don't you? You know, you buy into everybody being horrified when DCL signs, who's been such a brilliant signing. He's just due out for the season or still injured and recovering. He's on the recovery. Yeah, he's on the medical bed, I think. He's on the medic's bed. Dr. Farker and the medics are working on him, but when he's back, I think Joe will be back for new season. I think that's when he'll light it up. West Ham run continues when they beat Leeds on pens. Come on, Roger Slicker, stay loose. Jack, we've had this conversation. Just Joe is the OG Voldemort, but I've never referenced. I made Voldemort up, so I can't handle it. Voldemort had a real meltdown upload yesterday, panicking like a biatch over the awesome teams below us. He's just got hard on for anybody who don't play for Leeds. 78 RPM. That's all it is. Sorry, Jack, can you stop doing the lives, as I think it's the underlap every night. I'm turning into an alcoholic, for fuck's sake. Lol, top channel, mate. Appreciate you, Richard Todd. Thank you, man. We're trying to switch it up a little bit. I'm going to get back to the shit vids as well, though, Richard Todd. Fear not. But yeah, we're trying to go live as well, because we're trying to get up to 100 likes, aren't we? But we've only got 38 today, so... You know, maybe it was the breakdown. Nobody could handle the breakdown. Jack, Derbyshire County striker, is 6'4", can score with both feet, and he's lethal scoring headers. So yes, 100% we would have won more games if we'd signed him in January, in my honest opinion. I would have liked somebody to come in. Hey, we're 15th in league. We're going all right. There's some big games coming up. We're in the crunch time of the season. We knew we'd be in and around it. We're in a decent position. Let's get back to this. Let's get back to being high and wide, shitting teams up, delivering balls. Perfect stuff. Love it. Appreciate you guys. I'm out of here. I'll upload a shit vid tomorrow, or I might actually chop this analysis up. How about that then? And upload that as a vid. I'm home and here and I'm all in. Didn't hear the tactical breakdown properly, but I'm surmising it said something along the lines of, if you shoot, you score. You got to be in it to win it, Brett, and you know it. I'll just say this. As anyone said, love OKAFOR is rapid. He beats fullbacks for pace so easy. No hate. I think he does beat fullbacks though, Ming. I mean, Google don't lie. Google's my best friend. Yes, Joe Depp, appreciate you. Hey, get up, Luke. You should have said happy birthday, Luke. You'll get a belated shout out when I'm next live, which might be Wednesday, because I think I'm out all day tomorrow. But a belated shout out for Luke. Belated shout out for Luke's birthday. You should have said at the start. For Luke's birthday. Or for Luke's birthday, I'll put. Get up. Shout out to Luke. Everybody put some Luke loving in the chat. Yeah. David Lynn, thank you. Cheers, Joe Peruk and Sniffer Gold. Cheers, Joe Depp. Appreciate you, man. Mr. Whitesnake. Nostar Mucker. Not sure, but I appreciate it regardless. AO, Joe Depp, Luke, happy birthday. Richard Todd, 78 RPM. My man Ming. Brett, Roger Slicker. AO. Gomez Gang, Cletus. Happy birthday, Luke, again. Let's keep it real. Mr. Whitesnake, Leeds man, Howard Bowden. Been loads here today again. Appreciate you all. If you can smash us a like on your way out, guys, and send this to your mate to go watch it. Say, here, mate, watch it, but watch it all the way through. Enar in the wings, I've no doubt. Gomez Gang. Don't know if I said Cletus. Leeds man, I think I just said Leeds man. War Piglet. Julian Airy. Andrew Thompson. Rhino Rock. My man Brett. You're all legends. Take it easy, everybody. Speak to you soon. The poll results. Sorry, dude. I said the poll results, didn't I? But it's stacked 38%. Goodmanson 33%. DCL 29%. Paul at OKAFOR on 0%. Night, everybody. Take it easy, everybody. Appreciate you all, as you well know. In a bit.
I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna hear your promises. You do you and I'll do me. That's just the way it is.
Boom.